Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to vinnytortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at vinnytortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com. Replay Guitar Exchange is your premier independent guitar store. Being independent is good. With all of the major brands, including new, vintage, and pre-owned, you can find the guitar, bass, amp, or accessory you are dreaming of. From vintage to the newest models, Replay Guitar Exchange can help you find that perfect piece. They have industry veteran expert staff, all players like you down to the owner. You aren't just getting a great guitar, you're getting the Replay difference. Find them online at replayguitar.com and find your dream guitar today.
Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
You kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games, don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
See, son, old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum with a lot of life.
Hello, you crazy dirt fucker!
Party time!
Yes, it is party time. Hello, Hollywood. Hello, world. And hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you. And it's always good to be seeing Izzy Presley here on another effing podcast, but accidentally on the Izzy Presley Show. I forgot to switch shows, but that's okay because this might help the Izzy Presley Show. And, but we will have another effing podcast on Thursday. Yes, this just got booked, so this kind of works out good because we just swapped shows for the week. I have a bondage porn star coming in, and yes, and she's very, very, very delectable. You will find out when she's on. Let's just say that. So that's going to be cool. Diving into the world of bondage porn. Rather excited about that. I let my fingers do the walking a little bit this afternoon, and I
bet it was more than the fingers.
Yeah, God bless the internet. That's all I got to say. My name is Izzy Presley. This is another effing podcast and the Izzy Presley Show. Matt Larsen in studio. Going to get to him in just a second. Make sure you do hit up all that social media at Real Izzy Presley all the way across the board. Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And the Facebook page for the show is another effing podcast. And we are now, Matt, we are now on Spotify.
Right on.
We got added to Spotify, and it's already...
the Swedes will be listening.
Already gotten a lot of listens on the Doug Pennick episode on Spotify. So that's good. That is good. Scotty Strickland checking in already from Canada. Take off. Gunter checking in from Minnesota. Who's going to wear the thong? The dong. Who's going to wear the dong? I guess you just have to wait and see.
What was that? Cool, look.
What else do we got? Mega Cruise coming up in just a couple of weeks. Less than 2 weeks. Rather excited about that. We'll be doing recording a Drunken Summit on the Mega Cruise in the Bliss Lounge. And those are always good on the cruises because we are all hammered already. So that is going to be fun. Also got a little secret comedy show coming up the day we get off the boat. If you're in LA and you want to go, hit me up. I might be able to get you in. Don Jameson is recording his brand new comedy record. So, hey, Freaky Randy checking into the podcast. from Minneapolis. Freaky likes Van Halen. That's why I reached out to you, good sir. That is exactly why. And what else do I have to get to before we jump into the Van Halen conversation? T-shirts are available. If you go to the Facebook page, click that Shop Now link. All you Van Hagar fans, there are shirts there that say, I love Van Hagar. Deal with it. I know Randy will not be buying one of those. Podcast shirts and all that stuff. And if you don't want the shirts and you just want to donate to the show, there is a PayPal link up on the show page. If you do not use Facebook, the PayPal is izzypresley@yahoo.com. Just feel free to send me money, just to help the show out, because it's not free to do the show. I spend a lot of money doing this. Well, not a lot of money, but a lot of money to me. What else do we got? Anything else? Oh, if you are new listeners on Spotify or any of the other new outlets, and you want to listen to the show live and you want to contribute, you can just go to the Spreaker page, which is Spreaker.com/user/Izzy Presley, and hit that follow button, and you will get notified every single time that we go live. If you listen on iTunes, just subscribe and give me good ratings and stuff. So all that. So I brought Matt in, and Matt was on the show, 2 weeks ago, I think it was?
Correct.
Something like that. We were talking about Kiss. And I like this format about having, instead of doing the show alone, which is what the Izzy Presley show is actually going to be, but another effing podcast. I think it's better when you have somebody else in studio, and keep it rock-based, keep it music-based. Like I said on the show last night, I think the topical stuff kind of hurt another effing podcast and brought the numbers down. So we got to get that back up to where it was by doing what we do best, and that is talk about music and have fun interviews. So that's what the another effing podcast is just going to be from now on, which what it should be. And Matt is a fellow Van Halen geek, and lots of news regarding Van Halen coming out. David Lee Roth just did an interview with something called
Meltdown
on
WRIF, Detroit's Rock.
Before we get into this is I can't stand terrestrial radio, and this is why, because there are people with names like Meltdown. It's like, dude, just use your fucking name. Just use your name. It's fucking hacky. I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's a bad jock. I'm not saying anything about his ability, but good God.
Can you imagine how many wilds are out there in radio?
Oh my God. There's in Wisconsin, I remember there's one his name is God. Like, Jesus Christ, really? Oh, it's just horrible. Just stop. This is why people don't listen to radio anymore, because of hacky names like Meltdown.
That, and they play the same 50 songs over and over.
Yeah, this is for a whole nother discussion. This is from when Eddie comes in studio. We're going to get into this radio stuff and kind of lay it on the line. But yeah, so David Lee Roth.
Triumphs.
Nicely done. Nicely played. Little feedback before we get going here. Scotty says, one of these years I'm going to be in person for one of those drunken summits, and I'm hoping to see Don Jameson on Sunday up here in Canada. All right, that's very cool. And Gunter, freaky, been a long time since the Riff Raff days at the press. Yeah, the old school St. Cloud, Minnesota reference right there. So David Lee Roth was on with Meltdown and basically said that Van Halen is over. A lot of people are like, well, that's just Dave promoting his shit, and I don't agree with that.
Well, he does he's trying to sell tickets.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I think there is truth in some of that.
Well, and then AJ Benza, who's he's a gossip columnist, and
was he on Stern a lot?
He was on Stern a lot, and he had that show on E! Mysteries and Scandals. The guy knows his shit. He's pretty much the best in the business, and he is always spot on. So and I listen to his podcast 3 times a week. It's great. Matt, you probably wouldn't like it because he likes Trump, but we're not going to get into that at
no
all.
Politics.
No politics. But if you get past that stuff, it's a very, very entertaining podcast. It's called Fame is a Bitch. So if AJ's talking about it, there's a good chance there's a lot of truth in it. And his podcast yesterday Basically, he was talking about Eddie Van Halen, and the reports that he's hearing is that Eddie is very, very ill. And it's basically another form of cancer, and he's to the point where he's so sick that he cannot leave the house. That makes me think even more that Van Halen is done.
Whoa. Whoa. This is the first I'm hearing that. Because, you've heard all the rumors that he's been ill, but I didn't know it was at that level. I mean, I don't know too much about AJ Benzo, but Benzo. Okay, but that's troublesome hearing, and look, if Van Halen is done, sorry.
That's all right.
The most important thing is Eddie's health.
Right,
and
absolutely.
More than if he ever picks up a guitar again. So let's just all pray that those rumors that AJ is saying is not true. That's very disturbing.
And I was texting with Eddie Trunk this morning, and we just came to the conclusion, basically Eddie did, and I agreed. It's like, wouldn't this be the perfect time for Van Halen to put out some kind of release, some kind of statement?
That's really what I think the fans are. I don't know if they're owed it. They're not. I have battled in my head what are the fans owed and what they're not owed. We've gotten a great body of work from the brothers. It would be nice, but that might not be if any of those rumors are true.
Right.
That might not be where his head is at or his brother's head's at. So, it's. I'm just a little shocked about what you just told me.
Well, and look, this has always been the thing with Van Halen. It's always, especially in the last few years, it's very tight-lipped. Unless there is something to promote, it's like the AC/DC camp. You hear nothing out of those camps.
Correct.
That's why you don't hear. Wolfgang has this fucking record coming out that's not out yet. Yeah, and because he has to do press if he doesn't.
Well, yes, and I listened to Trunk's show today, which I don't know if you did too.
Not yet.
Eddie sort of said that as well. I guess the idea was because Van Halen was supposed to go out on tour, on a stadium tour.
Yep.
And it was rumored that Foo Fighters were going to be a part of it, and the logical thing. Wolfgang has had this record he has had done for probably like 3 years now. And the logical thing that he would go out on tour with the band to support it. Well, and if he has this record in the can, and if he goes out to do his press, he's going to get asked all those questions like what Dave got today or yesterday. So how does he answer that? He probably doesn't have an answer that he can give. So
especially because He's a Van Halen.
He is.
He's in the family. He's the son. He's the spawn of God.
Correct. Yes.
Randy said, "You seen this yet?" I'm assuming it's the video of Eddie walking at a farmer's market.
Yeah, that's from a few years ago.
Yeah, it is from a few years ago. So, like I said, no. I think Trunk said that somebody saw him at a restaurant a couple months ago, and he looked different. So, didn't say he looked bad like he was dying, but he said he looked different. So I don't know. We'll see, man. It's a
complicated thing.
It is.
But, we have Roth, I guess, who's, for lack of a better word, going to carry on the torch of Van Halen and play those songs. Hey, he wants to work. He wants to get out there. He's probably got tired of waiting around, and we all know he's kind of an antsy guy. He was an EMT at one time, and
yep.
He always wants to do something. So, the guy's 64 years old, and how much does he have left in him? Even though he looks great, he looks like he's in great health. He probably wants to get out there and play those songs, and I don't blame him. And he has an opportunity to do this residency in Vegas, which I can't think of a guy better suited for Vegas than David Lee Roth. he's got this young band that he found, or whoever found for him, to come in and play these songs with him. I saw a set list online, and it was interesting that it was all Van Halen material. Me being somebody who's a fan of Roth's entire body of work, I didn't see anything from Eat 'Em and Smile, anything from any of those records. It was all Van Halen material. Will that probably change? I would guess so. When I listened to the Meltdown Riff interview, he did throw out Just a Gigolo, so I could see him doing somewhat of a version of that. I would imagine the set list will change. So we'll see. I will be at one of those shows. I'm a lifelong Van Halen fan. For the most part, the Roth years. So you will, I'm sure to be there. I mean, as far as, I've seen some of the comments online about the performance of the video that was leaked out on or not leaked out, but some guy posted on a Facebook page, and the majority of it was negative comments. But I mean, what do you expect?
Right. Well, I mean, look, Trunk had a great point. He's never been great live.
No, well, I kind of disagree with that.
Well, I mean, come on, he's 64 fucking years old.
Well, the thing is, if you go back to there was that Golden Nugget bootleg that surfaced not too long ago from Fresno. Mm-hmm. Yes, he's saying he didn't sing every line, every word, but his voice was on. Everything was on. I don't think it was very pitchy at all, but, later years you get a little pitchier. That happens with age. His showmanship has changed somewhat, but, it's still Roth. And,
right.
I look at it as like this. I get to hear those songs. I get to hear them by the man who helped create them, and I'll be there.
Yeah, I plan on getting up there for a show, too. I'm rather excited about it. Like you said, I mean, Dave is made for Vegas. I would love to see Dave doing a a fucking lounge act. He would be perfect for that.
I think he tried that about 20 summers ago in Vegas, and it was not really a lounge, but it was kind of a jazzy type thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that went over too well. But
this is a good one. Freaky says, "Why can't he give his career CPR?"
Yeah.
Well played, sir. So I guess, I mean, Matt, it's looking like. Were you at the last Hollywood Bowl show?
Unfortunately, I was not.
I was.
I saw when they played out in Irvine. That was the last time I saw them.
So I guess I was at the last Van Halen show.
Yes, you were.
Was
it memorable? Did you love it?
It was. I loved it. I mean, dude, it was Van Halen in Hollywood at the Hollywood Bowl outside, and I thought Dave was fine.
Dave's great. Well, the set list on that last run that they did was amazing. I think they pulled out really deep tracks like Dirty Movies and just, it was just amazing, the set list from that run. And
the only song that I thought he had trouble on was I'll Wait. That one was kind of rough.
Well, but the rest of it was,
anyway. I mean,
that's a beer line break,
right? But I mean, it was also a big radio song too. I mean, it's one of those things.
It was kind of a bigger radio track.
Dick Chasen checking in. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining the conversation. Did you see him on Kimmel? Were you there for the Kimmel show?
I was at I was at the Kimmel thing, and I saw the train wreck at the beginning, but they did recover and start over, and it was, it's tough when a band comes out like that when they haven't been active in a few years and play in front of it on Hollywood Boulevard for a national TV audience.
Yeah.
Which is not your normal thing to put a rock band in. There's going to be some.
Well, I thought the coolest part about that, because obviously what they saw on TV wasn't the whole thing that happened. I mean, there was Dave's little shtick with
nose
his nose. He
thing,
busted his nose open.
Spinning the mic stand.
Yeah, but the cool part about that was when he was off stage getting fixed, Eddie and fucking Wolfie and Alex were just jamming.
Yeah, that was very cool. That was a cool moment. That was very, very cool.
When did you get into Van Halen?
I would say it would probably be. I remember I went to a neighbor's friend's house and I heard Diver Down, and I was like, "Woof!" And I went back and started buying the records, and just fell in love. I mean, they're my all-time favorite band. I would guess. I'll be listening to them till I'm an old man.
Really, above Kiss and Motley?
Correct. They are my all-time favorite band. And Women and Children First is my all-time favorite record. Romeo Delight's probably my all-time favorite song. And probably right next to that is Fair Warning, which is one of the more darker records, but was just genius. I mean, it's so crazy, the body of work that they put out in such a short period of time.
Yeah, you forget about that. It's like, I mean, you look back at, not only Van Halen in that short period, 77 to 84, all those great records. But, I mean, you look back at the icons, Kiss, all those records they put out between 74 and 78. The Beatles, what they did in 8 years, it's fucking insane.
Yeah, Cheap Trick.
Cheap Trick.
Aerosmith.
Yeah.
I mean, the Stones, they put out a lot in a short period of time, too.
Yeah.
And it's crazy now because bands now take 3 to 4 years, and I think a lot of it we get in the business side of things, but the way artists make money now is touring.
Right.
And the album ends up being a promotional tool for the tour, where back in those days it was reversed. Mm-hmm. You needed to go on tour to promote your record,
right,
to make money. So,
right,
it's completely flipped now.
I think we should have a conversation about that on another show.
Correct.
About the whole about the business and how it is now, and if it can come back, it can't sustain to come back. Well, I don't know. We'll save that. We'll save that. See, now as far as Halen goes, I mean, I had been listening to like the first record or whatever, but it was when 5150 came out.
5150.
That's what really turned me on to Van Halen.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So then that was MTV and
well, they didn't put out a video at all for that record.
You're wrong.
Well, I cut out. There I am. I'm sorry.
Because they did Live Without a Net, and the best of
yeah.
both worlds video
they
from
pulled that, but
right.
they never did an official video.
Correct.
For that release, and at that time, every band was doing a video.
Right.
And I mean, the first time I saw Van Halen was the 1984 tour, and changed my life. I mean, that just was just being in the same room with those four gentlemen. It was just cool enough.
Right.
Let alone getting to see a full set of theirs.
Dude, that was. I remember like going to shows as a kid and just realizing it. Oh my God, they're right there.
Yeah, all those circus magazines I bought, and looking at the photos and putting them in my locker. Now they're right there. Whoa.
I had
crazy.
that, like the first time I saw Kiss, it was like,
that's a whole same. I was 8 years old seeing them in 1979. I was like, oh my God, I had goosebumps. I literally had goosebumps.
Yeah, see, I mean, my first big show was Monsters of Rock in 88.
That was 88.
Yeah,
Dokken and Metallica, Kingdom Come,
and that was before
Scorpions.
Justice. It was like the summer right before Justice came out, so they hadn't exploded yet. But Van Halen was fucking awesome.
I saw Van Halen on that tour as well. They played Omaha, Nebraska, and I got to meet Eddie Van Halen before the show.
Really?
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. In Omaha at the Omaha Civic Auditorium, the circular, they cut off part of the walkway outside the arena as the backstage, so there's this fence and curtain there, and I was right there up against it. Eddie comes walking up, and I said, "Hey, Ed, can I bum a smoke?" And he gave me the rest of his Winston. And I smoked that thing right down to the filter.
You still have it, don't you?
No, I don't have. I have no idea where that went.
You kept it. Did you keep
I
it?
kept it for a few years.
Oh, I would have kept that forever.
Yeah.
Like my Honky Tonk Man tape.
Yeah, that was pretty. And Eddie had the mullet. I remember he wore the baggy pants.
Yep,
and he had
the curtains.
Yeah, at that time, and it was pretty cool. And Sammy walked by, and Alex, or not Alex, but Michael. But it was all, it's always been about Ed. Ed is the guy.
It's funny. Let's see. Hold on. I got to reply. We're going to bring Freaky on here in just a minute after the commercial break. First half of the show brought to you by Beater Amplification, ladies and gentlemen. I love me my Beater. 2 E's, Beeter. 100 watts of testicular fortitude. Yes, you can get that brown sound out of that fucking amp. It is insane. 3 channels, pull 2 tubes, you got yourself a 50. They are hand wired, they are hand built, and they were customized for you. The Izzy Presley TCB1 is in production. I'm rather excited about that. Cannot wait to get my hands on the very first one. So check them out. Hold on. We'll buzz you during the break. So yeah. So we're at about a half an hour right now. Let's take a short break. I'm going to buzz Randy and get him on the line. He's got a great Eddie Van Halen story. Dick Chasen checking in, and he says, "Look at all the people here tonight." I fucking love it. All right, it's another fucking podcast, and it's the Izzy Presley Show. Matt Larsen in studio. Got Randy Ingebretson coming up in just a second. Gonna bring him in on the phone lines. Hold tight. Let's hit some commercials, yo.
Retro Arcade brings Minnesota and surrounding areas arcade games from the days gone by. All of those great games from pizza joints and arcades are available in cocktail units and custom machines. Dozens of favorites from your youth in one machine to complete your game room or man cave. Retro Arcade also sells and services your favorite pinball machines. Find them at facebook.com/80arcade. That's facebook.com/80arcade. Retro Arcade. Your youth is just one click away.
RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com.
Hey ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that rock shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, lace-up tees, and tube top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsdesigns.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook for special offers and custom orders. That's sasspantsdesigns.com, sasspantsdesigns.com. Sass Pants will make you the envy of the party.
If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band, or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
Hey, what's going on? This is Tom Arnold. I like fat women and cocaine. And you're listening to Izzy Presley here on another fucking podcast. And I know Izzy from Cocaine Anonymous meetings. I've actually seen him at the meetings with Ace Von Johnson from, I probably shouldn't say this out loud, but Ace has got a bad coke problem. And his sponsor is Josh Todd from, and again, I shouldn't say this out loud, but Josh is his sponsor for Buck Cherry. He's addicted to upskirt porn. And they're both being sponsored by the Eagles. The whole band, the Eagles. Anyways, another fucking podcast right here with Izzy Presley, and call your sponsor. Fucking A.
All right, and we have returned. Matt Larsen stepped out. He'll be stepping back in just 1 second. Got freaky Randy Ingebretson on the phone of Hairball and Flip fame and Riff Raff fame and Freak fame and Surly Jones fame, and one of the biggest Van Halen freaks that I know. Matt Larsen has returned. Freaky, say hello to Matt.
Hey, Freaky.
Hey, Matt.
How are you?
Good.
Good. So did you name Riff Raff after the AC/DC track?
No. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Okay. Just making sure we're cool. I got my iPhone earbuds in.
Nice.
Tommy, if I send you a picture, can you... Oh, actually, I can probably just post it on your page, right?
Yeah.
I got a picture referencing what I'm talking about here.
Okay.
So no, the Riff Raff name came from just hearing it as a term. Like I'd hear people say, "Oh, that Riff Raff," whatever. I actually didn't know the AC/DC song at that point.
Right.
That's embarrassing.
No, it's all good.
Matt actually, when he was with Interscope, he had a lot of. Was it with Interscope when you were talking to Steve Roth?
Well, yeah, I knew him, and they went to Interscope days, and I worked at this company called Rocket Science, where we put out the Ace Frehley Anomaly record, and we worked a lot closer during those days.
Yeah, because the only reason I bring that up is because Flip has been on his radar because he used to cover the Midwest. So I'm just trying to make a connection with you.
I remember when that first Flip record came out. Absolutely.
So what do you got there, Freaky?
Oh, yeah, I was just trying to post this damn picture. And I can't talk and post it at the same time. So
it's all good. Oh, hold on. Brian Richards checking in, and Size 5 fame.
Oh yeah, don't forget Size 5. So this story was, this is from I don't remember what year it was, but when Sammy toured with Van Halen again. Remember?
Oh, the reunion thing.
Yeah. So.
Ed wasn't in the best condition at that time, I don't think. I didn't see the tour.
Yeah, that's when Eddie was like, I think it was around before the surgery, cancer surgery, or after his tongue thing. I can't remember if it was before or after, but okay, so I have it on my Facebook right now, this picture I'm talking about.
Okay, I'm going to pull it up. And I'll download it, then I'll put it up on the podcast page.
All right, cool. So me and my buddy Jet Boy go to that show. We had lower level tickets somewhere, and Jet Boy runs off to get beers. And as he's getting beers, you can tell that they're getting ready to start the show. You know, it's getting to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And I look down on the main floor, and I see a security guard that I know. This woman, I can't remember her name. And she sees me and she's like, "Freaky," waving. And I'm like, "Yeah." And she's like pointing backstage. "Want to go backstage?" And I'm like, holy fuck. And Jet Boy's gone. She's like pointing at her wrist like, "Time, we got to go. And I'm looking back for Jet Boy, and I'm looking at her. And then luckily he starts walking down the stairs with these armful of beers. And I'm just like, "Dude, come on. And I get out in the aisle. We run down there. And she guides us backstage through security and everything. And if you remember that tour, the stage was the Van Halen logo, the round logo.
Oh, wow.
And it had like around the circles, there was VIP there. So people could sit on this, like inside the stage.
So
and then
that's like what Metallica did, where they call that the snake pit or something, where people got to sit inside the circle. Okay.
Yep. So the rings around the VH logo were a walk ramp, so the band could walk around there, and then the people inside the VIP were actually on the stage. So your shoulders were at like stage level.
Whoa.
And she got us in there. And the second we got in there, the lights went down and the show started. So if you've seen any pictures or at that show, you know that if you were in that little area, you were right in front of Eddie's rig. Ooh. Like all you could hear was Eddie's rig and the drums. And if you were unfortunately got put in the other side, all you could hear was Michael Anthony. I mean, seriously, I don't care how much you love Michael Anthony, but if you go to a Van Halen show and you get stuck in front of his rig instead of Eddie's, you got fucked.
Yeah.
It's like getting stuck in front of Tommy Thayer.
Well, if there's no one else up there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Randy, I'm looking at this photo. You got two pictures of Ed, and you've got, is that a picture of the cigarette butt? Or is that the actual cigarette butt?
That's an actual cigarette butt. So here's where it gets good. So we get into that little pit area, Jet and I, And I just, it wasn't packed full of people. It was comfortable amount of people, so you could move around in there and you could have drinks and shit. And I went up right to the very edge of it, and I was literally like 2 feet away from Eddie's pedal board.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
So I stood and watched that entire show, watching him from like 5 feet away and hearing nothing but his rig and the drums. Couldn't hear Sammy, couldn't hear Michael. I mean,
that's the best seat in the house.
I know, man. I'm old school Van Halen. I love Sammy before Van Halen and Montrose and all that, but Van Hagar is not on my radar
I'm
whatsoever.
on 100% same way with you with that.
So, yeah, and he didn't look good, but he was fucking crazy psycho. He had his hair all pulled back, like you can see in the picture. No shirt.
He shaved his sides?
Yeah, no, yeah, they were shaved down. That's right.
Crazy.
And he was wearing some fatigue shorts that were all trashed out, and then a pair of combat boots, and the toes of the combat boots were like torn off.
Those. And did he duct tape the boots?
Yeah, and it totally fucking gnarly, nasty brown toenails and shit. I mean, me and my back in the day, me and my Van Halen buddies were just like, if Eddie could get divorced, start drinking and smoking weed and fucking doing drugs again, Van Halen would be the greatest thing. It was like our dream came true right before our very eyes. He was just a nasty dirtbag rock and roll guitar player, and it was just so fucking cool. And they were doing tons of old Van Halen songs.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like I think somebody gave me a doctor, and there was other stuff too. It was so great because all you could hear was his rig just ripping.
Wow.
It's like, yeah. So, okay. So fast forward, and Wolfie was there too. He was like just a teenager at the time or something, or even younger.
Probably younger.
Like 10 feet from us. And I think he came up and did a song with him too, or he did something with Eddie on his solo, whatever. But he was like within eye shot the whole time, just sitting there watching. That was kind of cool. So Eddie's doing something. It's probably about 3/4 of the way through the show, and he lights up a cigarette, takes a drag off it, and then drops it on the ground right in front of me. And I couldn't take my eyes off that fucking cigarette. So, yeah, if you're looking at the picture, you know what's going on.
Is that a Winston? Because he was smoking Winstons in 88.
Dude, I can't be sure because it's got a green. It actually looks like an American cigarette or American Spirit. I'm smoking one right now and has the identical.
It does look a little American Spiritish, but yeah,
it's
he was smoking
green.
Winston when I got his.
Well, and who knows? I mean, maybe he was out and he borrowed. God,
yeah, right. Well, I mean, at least you kept yours, unlike Matt, who discarded the one that he got from Eddie and finished.
Oh, hold on. It ain't done.
We're not through yet. Very good.
I didn't get the cigarette yet. I just had my eye on it. And the end of the show happens, and they do their bow, and they take off. And everybody starts pushing towards the edge of the stage where we are in that little area so they can get picks or a set list or something.
Right.
And the Eddie's tech is handing out picks and handing all this shit out. And I'm like the first guy crushed in there. I'm like, dude, I want his cigarette. He's like, what? Yeah. I pointed over right in front of his pedal board. I'm like, right there, right in front of his pedal board, there's a cigarette. I want his cigarette. He looks at me all weird. He's like, all right. And he goes to grab it, and he bumps it, and it rolls under his gigantic pedal board.
No.
Meanwhile, people are pushing. Security's pulling us out by our shirts. They're like, get the fuck out, get the fuck out. I'm reaching my hand out as far as I can, looking at the guy, just pleading with him. I'm like, dude, please, come on, man, just get it. And so he gives me a nasty look and lifts up the big old pedal board, moves it out of the way and grabs the cig and comes over and hands it to me. He goes, there you go. I'm like, thank you so much. Blah, blah, blah. I'm fucking losing my shit. So I grabbed the cigarette, and I have it held in my hand, and I won't let it go. And I walked up to Jet. And he already got pulled out, so he saw it all go down. He's like, you got it, dude. And I'm like, yeah. So we go outside. We go outside in front of the arena, and we go in an alley in St. Paul between a couple bars. And I lit it up, and each of us took a drag off of it. And then I put it in that frame that's in the picture. It's been in that
So you
plant
still
ever since
have
that
the
night.
cigarette butt.
Dude, that
Yes.
is fucking
That's
golden.
awesome.
So I'm like thinking with him being sick and everything, I don't want to make light of it, and it is rumors at this point. But
Right.
The sick part of me wants to get the fucking DNA of that.
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say that with the technology these days, you could create another Edward Van Halen.
Yeah, but the thing is, it'd be an Eddie Jetboy Freaky clone.
Oh my God! But see, this is the thing, though. You're gonna have to find a gal that because I don't think they
carrier?
can a carrier. But you're gonna
You need
aren't
to
you
find
gonna,
a young
that looks
TV personality from a sitcom somewhere.
No. You got to find a gal that looks like Eddie's mom when she was young.
Oh yeah.
So you can make sure that this kid comes out looking like Edward Van Halen.
And
from
not
Holland.
me or Jet.
Yeah, not you or Jet. Absolutely, because nobody needs that.
Yeah, dude, that's one of my favorite things of all time, and I've always thought about that too. It's like I there's no way that his DNA is actually on this cigarette, but it's just cool to have.
Oh no,
something
it is.
That
I
really
watched
from just one puff off a
I
cigarette.
watched Forensic Files and all those shows, dude. There is Eddie Van Halen DNA on that thing. Because they have the technology where they will be able to see that there's 3 forms of DNA on it, and well, if they all they got to do is match up you and Jet and go, this is Eddie's. That's all they got to do.
So good.
Oh my God. So what are your thoughts, man? Do you think Van Halen's done?
Man, it's such a deep question, and the thing that keeps popping up in my head is like, the fan. Even listening to you guys talk tonight, it's like the Van Halen fans. They all came in at different times, so the fan means something different to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You said it really kicked your ass on 5150, right?
Yeah.
So it really kicked my ass on the first album because I walked into the Wax Museum in St. Cloud, and whatever records they were playing, they put the cover up on behind the thing, and I just happened to walk in the store in the middle of Eruption.
Oh wow!
So yeah, my world was
life changed right there.
Yeah,
and is there more of a rock and roll album cover than that? By the way, sorry to interrupt.
No.
That album cover, you can't get more rock and roll than that.
I know it was scary. It was scary a little bit, and that sound was. I just remember looking at the guy, and my jaw was literally on the ground. I was just like, "Who the fuck is this?" And yeah, so it means something different to everybody. I mean, my thing about Dave, when people talk about his singing abilities, that just falls on deaf ears with me.
Right.
He's not Steve Perry.
Right.
He's an old fucking blues man or
he's a
scat
showman,
man, you know.
Yeah.
And he sings with bravado and fucking force and bombast, and he's phonetically impeccable. It's like he's a percussive singer,
right?
And so you don't put him in a ballpark with pitchy. It's like Dave was pitchy. No, the thing about Dave is he can't do the scream anymore. That's the only thing about it.
Right.
Yeah,
it
doesn't
true.
matter what he does between the lyrics and his scats and his this and that. It's all good, but he doesn't have that tone anymore, and that's what hurts the old school Van Halen fans. It just hurts to watch him without that. It's
right.
Like, so he's going trying to sing these high notes, and it's like, that's not you, Dave. So when you say is Van Halen done, I thought they were done on the first time they got Dave back. I mean, I went to 4 or 5 of the shows, and they all varied in performance, which none of that mattered to me. I just wanted to see the boys rocking.
Right. Well, and this is ironic too. Is the first time I saw Van Halen with Dave was because of you. You took me to the Target Center in 2007 to see that show.
The reunion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and weren't we together at the Monsters of Rock tour too?
No, I didn't know you back then.
Okay.
I think I knew you from around town, seeing you around town, because I mean I was a freshman in high school.
Sure.
And
well, that show was crazy, wasn't it?
Oh, it was insane. I do remember seeing you because you were down front, correct?
Yes, and that was the first and only show in my entire life. And I'm talking about Motorhead at First Avenue. I had to put earplugs in.
Yeah.
I had to put earplugs in at that show. I literally put cigarette butts that were on the floor into my ears because it was
that is golden!
It wasn't good loud. It was just harsh, ridiculously loud.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that I was like looking for cigarette butts, and I actually smoked a couple just to stick. But it was really cool. I mean, Scorpions, Metallica, fucking Van Halen, and who?
Kingdom Come. I thought Kingdom Come was fucking great.
They probably were one of the better bands on the bill that day because there was a lot of technical issues.
Yeah.
Dokken played too, right?
Yeah, Dokken played. I thought Dokken wasn't good.
No, they had terrible sound.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Van Halen. So, yeah, that's my thought on it, that I thought they were done as a band that would excite me. And it's the same with Kiss. It's like, you know, it gets to that point where voices change and people aren't as active as they once were. So to us old school fans, it's kind of just like, doesn't really matter that they're not coming out like they were because it's impossible for them to do that. So it's like, it's almost like they kind of go out now and everybody talks about the show after, like, Gene didn't seem like he was in a good mood, but Tommy played good, and then, you know, or Dave had a good night, but Eddie was. It's like, you know, that's not rock and roll.
I know.
Fucking go crazy and have a great time and forget about life. But when you go to these old shows, you're not forgetting about life. You're watching every move. You're hoping they do good. You're hoping you have a good time and remember the old times.
Yeah. Well, I have to ask, since you were there at the beginning, what was the first Van Halen show you saw?
The first one was Fair Warning, I think.
Whoa.
Damn.
And
wow.
Yeah, like, fuck, dude, Stretch saw him on the second tour.
Holy shit.
He's also got a great Eddie story from, it wasn't the second tour, though. I think it was Women and Children, or maybe Fair Warning. I know he had an older brother, Joe, but he painted a giant Van Halen backdrop to bring to the show, him and his brother. That was amazing. And he made an Eddie trucker hat. He bought a white trucker hat and spray painted the Eddie black and white and red stripes
the Frankenstein
on it.
thing.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and he worked his way up close enough to the front of the stage where he could whip it at Eddie, and Eddie picked it up and put it on his head and wore it for a couple songs.
That is fucking gold.
Classic.
I mean, that guy is God to us.
Yeah, he is. Second half of the show brought to you by A&P Productions Laser Engraving. Check them out, aplaser.com, aplasers.com. Laser engraving, they can do anything, even a goddamn hot dog bun they can laser engrave. Check them out, Central Minnesota based, and catch them all over bringing their machines, and just buy shit from them. And
I need to check them out, man. Every time I listen to your show, you talk about them.
Yeah.
Like,
well, you know Oz.
Oh, he does that?
Yeah, that's Oz.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I'll send you his info. I'll send you his info and put you guys in touch. And also, John Palumbo Design. We love us some John Palumbo Design over here at Another Effing Podcast. You need a band logo, you need a business logo, you need a website, anything, hit up John Palumbo Design. We love them. We just got a few minutes left here. You know what? Something you were talking about, though, and this isn't really Van Halen related, but you were talking about walking into the Wax Museum and hearing that record on and seeing it. And isn't it just unfortunate that kids don't have that anymore?
100 million. It's almost like everything, dude.
Yeah.
Like Saturday morning cartoons.
Oh.
I mean, I don't even need to say anymore, right? It's like, remember when waking up Saturday morning, Sunday morning cartoons? Now it's just everywhere. It's the same with music. It was like, when I was into Kiss, the first time I saw them on TV was a commercial for the tour, for Kiss Alive 2 tour. In 78.
Wow.
Whoa.
So to see them even move was religious. It was like, And then they were on Don Kirshner's and In Concert and stuff. And I think the biggest one was Paul Lynde Halloween Special. Seeing them on that was like, even though they were lip syncing, it was just like, oh my God, I'm seeing them move around. I'm seeing those human beings move. It's like now, of course, that's, you know, you just looked forward to the record. You looked forward to the whole process of everything. Now it's even now my favorite bands, Foo Fighters and fucking everyone. It's like, oh, big deal. There's the new record. Show it in my iTunes. Well,
so
it's unfortunate, it really is. But what are you going to do?
So much media that's so easily accessible, it kind of ruins the experience of first discovering it.
That's one of the reasons. That's one of the reasons that I think vinyl is making a comeback, because we, as in this generation, that kind of brings back that feeling again. Like, I mean, fuck, when that Flip record showed up a couple of weeks ago, I geeked out. I'm like, fuck, it's finally here.
Yeah, but you know what, dude? How long did it last?
It's still on my record player.
But I mean, you know, I've done it too. Where when the Kiss Destroyer remix came out, when Ezrin remastered it, remixed it, I was so excited to put it on the turntable. And unfortunately, after $300 into my turntable, the belt went out, so I never did get to experience it. But, so I wound up just listening to it on iTunes or on YouTube, you know, because it's like the nostalgia is really cool and it lasts for a little bit for me. But if you don't have a serious record player and you don't have a serious preamp, it sounds like shit.
Right. Well, I mean, look, I have a fucking cheap $30 record player from the Walmart, and it sounds terrible, but it still sounds so fucking cool at the same time.
Yeah, kind of cool to get those little cracks in between the songs.
Yeah, but as far as like when your friends come over and you want to play them the new whatever the fuck it is, you put, you know what I mean?
Right.
Wait, I want to get back to Van Halen real quick and ask, what was everybody's thoughts on A Different Kind of Truth?
I loved it. And here's a funny story about that. I was the very first DJ in the country to play fucking Tattoo.
Whoa.
We got it. Somebody sent it to me the day before the world premiere. And my boss, Gary Hoppy's like, fuck it, let's play it. So we did. I was the very first one in the country.
From Interscope?
No, not at all.
No, all right.
Not at all.
That's cool. I'm glad you brought that up, Matt, because I think that fucking album is unbelievable.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. I skip Tattoo every time I listen to it. I'm glad
it's sort of the jump of A Different Kind of Truth.
Yeah, exactly. It's a cool song. I totally dig it, but it's not something I like to, you know, rock out to. But the rest of the record, and of course, everyone knows who's in the know knows a lot of those songs are old Van Halen songs. They dusted off and redid, but
fine.
If you're a fucking Van Halen fan, you couldn't have asked for a better goddamn record.
Exactly.
It's fucking amazing.
And I have to say this because it's probably my favorite Van Halen record since Fair Warning. Because Diver Down, being as great as it is, there was a lot of cover songs.
Right.
And 84 was a little too keyboard heavy.
Diver
Down, excuse me. Yes, Diver Down. And 84 was a little bit too keyboard heavy, with the exception of like 4 or 5 songs. But as a complete record, A Different Kind of Truth is just
I tell you where I think they did fuck up is they should have released "She's the Woman" as the first single instead of "Tattoo."
Yeah.
And they probably wanted to. It's like, who knows how much record company influence was
I bet Roth. Well, I used to work over at Interscope, and what I was told, a lot of it was driven by management and band, and I have a feeling Roth was the big one who pushed that as the first single, because he's probably thinking about Jump and that whole thing when that came out.
Yeah, it seemed like a smart thing.
It seems a logical thing to do, right? Yeah. With radio and whatnot,
but I also think old school Van Halen fans, they weren't waiting for Tattoo. They were waiting for She's a Woman.
What I would have done, I would have released a track on the internet like She's a Woman or something like that, and then go to radio with Tattoo, but have a setup track that's very old school sounding. That's what I would have done.
That makes sense.
Well, the thing is that when you talk about the old school Van Halen fans, they were gonna do no matter what.
They're gonna buy it no matter what.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So it was all about hooking somebody in,
right?
And I think that was the best song.
Well, yeah.
to do
Well,
that,
and remember they did Ellen DeGeneres. Like, why?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right. I forgot about that.
They did Ellen DeGeneres. That was just so strange to me.
Yeah, it's strange to us, but it's like, Jesus Christ, I wonder what their sound scan looked like the day after.
Right. What were your thoughts on the Sharon record?
Before we do that real quick, I just want to talk a little bit more about that last record.
Yeah, go for it.
I seriously can't even... When that record came out, dude, I couldn't fathom how cool it was.
Yeah.
Like, Eddie... my thing with Eddie was every single record, he did at least 2 or 3 things on the guitar that you didn't know how he did.
Right.
Every single fucking record. It was like... And it wasn't like an Yngwie thing or a technical thing. It was like a cool, really fucking cool, big, broad stroke guitar thing that was like, holy fuck, how did he do that? What did, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And when that record came out, Different Kind of Truth, it was full of shit. How the fuck did he do that?
Yeah.
In this day and age with all the shit, is like, even just simple patterns and things that he did that are like so innovative in the world of Eddie Van Halen, and drumming and fucking Wolfie's playing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to get in the Michael Wolfie argument because it's a moot argument. Eddie said, the only reason I'm going back and doing any of this is because I can do it with my boy.
Yep.
End of fucking story. If you're going to bitch about Wolfie, then you get no more Van Halen.
No, it's absolutely true.
God
But
bless Wolfie.
It is unfortunate that summer tour didn't happen because Michael Anthony was going to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it would have been really cool. And you know what? Wolfie was the biggest fan of it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, he
was
didn't
the
he,
one that's like
when
Dad.
When the reunion happened, what my understanding was, he picked the set list. Like, he was going back, and he likes those deep tracks.
Dude, he's the Tommy Thayer of Van Halen.
You're
without question. He is.
I don't know if I am.
He tells Dad and Alex, "Hey man, we need to do this song. We need to do that song. We need to fuck." That's what Tommy Thayer did back in those days, man. I was with him in the studio, in the Flip
Oh, that's
studio.
right.
Kids
That's
rehearsed
right.
with us for a day.
Oh.
That's right.
Every time something happened, they all looked to Tommy for a fucking advice.
So Tommy was the encyclopedia Kiss guy, I guess is kind of what you're saying.
The the new Sean Delaney.
Got it. Okay.
There you go. Randy, I think my favorite story from you about that day was when you were having that Kiss solo record, huge cardboard cutout thing signed.
Yep. Which is for sale.
Ah.
Yeah, dude, that was Kilo. This is a Van Halen show. We got to save it for another thing.
Okay.
Go back to Hey, you were talking about the Gary Sharon.
Yeah, the Gary Sharon record.
I am stymied.
I couldn't get through it all, by the way.
No, I couldn't either.
I can't even comment on it.
I listened to it about a month ago. I forced myself to sit down and listen to every single song in its entirety. And there's a lot of magic in it, but I just don't get that singer, man. I can't.
But I mean, if you think about it, if say these health things aren't true with Eddie, if he's the one guy that could do both Dave and Sammy.
I agree. Yeah.
Gary?
Yeah.
Oh, who cares? Who cares what he can do?
You know what, though?
Turns his back to the audience, bends over, and puts his hand between his legs and sticks his finger up in his asshole. It's like Nuno couldn't stand him and Eddie can't stand him. He's fucking
did not
weird.
know that.
He's trying to be Freddie, and it's fallen way short.
You know, it is funny though, because Nuno plays Soundcheck Live every once in a while, and he's brought Gary a couple times, and I asked Gary, it's like, because I had heard the rumors that that they were working on a second record before they let him go, and he said, yeah, and we were demoing shit out, and it sounded like the old stuff.
Yeah, doesn't matter. Take that vocal track off, and I'll put it. It's.
Get Ralph to come in and sing.
Yeah, no shit,
dude. Did you see the video the other day of Corey Taylor and Michael Anthony and John?
Oh,
Five?
yeah.
I don't know how old it is, but good God, Corey's tone is amazing.
Oh, Corey's fucking.
I think
great.
Corey's the best current rock singer out there.
If he was the new singer of Van Halen, it would be fucking phenomenal.
Oh,
well, and he auditioned for Velvet Revolver at one time, but that's a
right.
whole other podcast.
Oh, no shit. Was he in that documentary?
I don't know the documentary, but I know he auditioned.
Because they did a documentary where they were looking for singers, and Steven Chirot from Kicks, who's from Minneapolis. Or not Kicks, I'm sorry.
Kick Tracy.
Oh, I remember that dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, they brought in a bunch of people, and I think Duff was kind of the one who brought in Corey, and for whatever reason
Corey
it didn't work out.
Perfect in Van Halen. He's got
he's
got the perfect attitude.
Yep.
He's got that old school singer rasp in his voice.
Yep.
And he would have so much fun with it. It would be great.
It's funny, and I can't remember who told me this, but it was somebody that has been to Eddie's compound over there. Apparently, Eddie and Steve Lukather did a record together, and it's on the shelf in the studio, and apparently it's their Dark Side of the Moon, but we are never going to see it hit the fucking see the light of day.
See, that's the thing. I'd love to get into those vaults.
Oh, my God. To me, that's huger than the Prince vaults. Could you imagine the Van Halen vaults?
When did that
A few years ago.
happen?
A few years ago.
That they recorded it?
Yeah.
Eddie, I remember Eddie, that's one of his big dudes.
Yeah. They're good friends from what I hear.
Yeah, that's interesting. Last
I really,
go for it.
I really did like the song Eddie sang on the piano on that record with Gary Sharon.
Oh, my
he
God.
did that last song with the piano and shit.
I might have to force myself to re-listen to that record.
If you're an Eddie fan, you have to listen to it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool guitar shit, but it's not that stuff you put in your car when you're getting ready to go out with the boys. You just don't pop that record in.
Right.
But when you're sitting around at home and you just want to hear Eddie, it's like, you got to listen to that record. And then he sings on that piano song, and you can hear every fucking cigarette in his throat. It sounds really cool. He was smoking when he fucking recorded it.
Oh, of course. Brian checking in from St. Cloud saying, "Kick my ass in '83. Diver Down was one of the first records I purchased with my own money that summer." And Bruce checking in from Canada says, "Good show. Thanks, fellas." Well, thank you, Bruce. I'm glad you.
Hey, Bruce. Hey, Brian.
Glad you checked in. Last thoughts?
Well, is Van Halen? That's the show, right? Is this the end of the Van Halen?
It's
in my personal Van Halen fan opinion, it was over a long time ago. But I just hope Eddie's cool, man. I hope him and Dave are the only two rock stars I haven't met.
Yeah, I had an opportunity to meet David Lee Roth, and I got too nervous and couldn't do it.
Wow.
Dude, I
just got
too
too nervous.
Yeah, because you don't know.
You don't know what you're going to get.
Right. It's like, I don't want that. And I can see how he could be a total douche, and I can see how he could be totally cool.
And I was out at a restaurant out in Malibu about a year and a half ago, and I was leaving. I saw Alex Van Halen having dinner, and I just was like, as I was walking out, and his wife literally looked over at me like, "What the fuck's your problem?" As I was walking out, and you can't go up to, you just can't do that. But I was just like, oh my god, I was like a little kid, schoolgirl or something. But
Randy, let me ask you this before we go: would meeting Eddie be bigger than meeting Ace for you?
I already met Ace.
I know, but on a level.
Yes, it would be bigger.
Okay.
Yeah. Just because I have met Ace before.
Right.
And just like, and it's like Matt was saying, when these situations present themselves where you can meet your hero.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, you're going to say the wrong thing. Like that Eddie video, that video I just showed you guys, and you guys said it was old, of Eddie at the farmer's market.
Yeah.
That guy's like, oh, you're way better than Clapton. Like, do
Oh,
you
gee.
really think that Eddie's brain is going to register that and look at you and go, really? Do you think I'm better than Clapton? Thank you. So it's like, just, you know, the best thing to do in that situation is just to say, I know you've heard everything before you've ever heard. You're not going to hear anything new from me, but I just want to shake your hand and say thank you and walk the fuck away.
Yes, exactly.
Even if they're eating dinner. It's like, you don't get that opportunity, and hey, motherfucker, you have a responsibility to shake my hand right now and tell me to piss off, and that's all I want.